Good morning. So, well, for me, it's morning. It's currently, I think, 5:47. Um, I was thinking about this all day yesterday. I didn't record. I didn't paint. I did a little bit of drawing. I did a lot of reading, and I felt like I needed to. I wanted to one make another video, but two, I've just been thinking a lot about time and how I use it, which I keep saying. And if I have even a little bit of time, I want to just dedicate it to the thing I love. So I'm up at 5 in the morning. I'm not going to paint because I got to go to work in a couple of hours, but I did want to draw because let me get loose. And then, like, if I don't do anything else for the rest of my day, I at least get to make this drawing. And when I get home from work, I won't be able to paint because it's my friend's birthday. So I'm going to go to his birthday party downtown. So I'm not going to really get much art done if I don't do it now. So I woke up, I was thinking about it. So let's do it. Genuinely, for me, the hardest part about making art is the setup and the cleanup. Everything else in between is the easy part. Well, easier. Every part has its day, right? But yeah, how y'all doing? I am doing pretty good. You can't really complain if you're able to wake up and draw for a few hours before you gotta go to work. This thing is breaking. Oh, no, it's not. I just wasn't tightening it. Oh no, my tea is about to scream. 1 second, y'all. Let me go handle that. Sometimes the teapot screaming is so jarring, dude. It's like, why did I even get this thing? But yeah, I'm lucky. I get to wake up and paint. There are some people in LA right now who can't even, like, they don't even got their houses anymore. And I was talking to a friend who actually lives in LA. I was just checking up on them. And they were telling me they didn't have cell service, they lost power, had to get evacuated from their homes. I got it pretty good having just set up an easel. Y'all, I feel like sometimes I cannot win. I just recorded a bunch of stuff without recording the audio, but that's fine. I'll figure something out to do with it. But basically, all I was talking about was how I'm kind of excited to go out tonight, but I'm also a little nervous because I want to record, but I'm still trying to keep what I'm doing a secret from people. And I know that's not like a real possibility if I want this channel to be what I want it to be, but I want people to find it on their own time. And yesterday I get a call from my mom and she's like, "You didn't tell me you're doing YouTube." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And she's like, "Yeah, I heard you got a YouTube channel. Someone sent it to me." And I'm like, "Oh my God. Okay. Hi, Mom." So, hi, Mom. But I enjoy doing this without worrying about what people are going to think about what I'm doing or what I'm up to. And not that it really matters. I just, this is kind of like a place for me to sort of experiment. And it's almost like I don't want to call it a visual diary, but I am like documenting this process because for a long time I wanted to document what I had going on, but I just I didn't know how I would do it. But yeah, here we are. So I think tonight we're gonna go handy cam because people will be like, "Oh, it's a cute little art project. He's not filming a YouTube video, is he?" Honestly, what it is, I don't want to have to answer any questions. "Oh, what's your channel?" I don't know, I forgot. Nah, it's cool. I'll tell people if they figure it out. People are gonna find out at some point. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I can't control people finding the channel, especially because I want it to be a really big thing. It's just happening sooner than I thought, which is cool. Like, it's cool. Hi. So earlier I was kind of talking about the fire in LA, and it really has me thinking about the impermanence of stuff and how things don't really matter. Yeah, it's got me thinking about how things don't really matter, and we don't really own anything. We're just kind of borrowing it. with that being said, we're also borrowing time, which is honestly what helped me get out of bed today. And I don't mean that in like a morbid sense where like, oh, we're all not going to be here for a long time. Because like, who knows? But I guess what I mean is like, while you have access to the things you have access to, use it and do your best. Which is really, I guess a message for myself that I kind of wanted to share, because I feel like a lot of times I'll just kind of, I don't want to say I can get complacent, but I'll just think, oh, I can do that later. I'm realizing later might not ever come because of a natural disaster of something. And so I'm just like trying to be as proactive with my art and my life as possible. With that being said, it's part of the reason why I wake up at 5 in the morning and why I don't get mad at myself when I accidentally forget to turn my mic on and I don't check before I record, even though that's what I should do. I guess I'm just grateful for the opportunity to have another opportunity, as corny as that sounds. So as I continue to read the Picasso book, which I also think I'm gonna at some point I'm gonna make like videos on the books I'm reading. So let me know down below if you guys are interested in like watching these sort of like recap the chapters, and so we kind of read them together to be kind of like a book club. Which I'm in a book club in real life. I love book club. Book clubs are amazing, and it's a great way to retain information and build community. But also, dude, who doesn't love books? Well, I just sound like the biggest nerd. But yeah, I've been reading the Picasso book, and it's cool. It seems like Paris in the, what is it, the 20th century, like 1900. Yeah, that's the 20th century. Was the place to be. Paris is what New York was in the 80s, and I'm not quite sure. This one's gonna get erased. We're not even gonna see this one through, y'all. Know when to move on. Yeah, it seems like Paris was what New York is, or what New York was in the 80s. And what I mean by that is like a sort of cultural hub for different kinds of artists, like writers, poets, painters, musicians, and they all hung out in the same places, swapping ideas. And reading books like this make me wonder where that place is now. And I'm not saying New York isn't that. I don't know, but I do feel like New York doesn't have the same energy that I would read about and watch in the documentaries from the 80s. And a part of me thinks that it's because of the higher cost of living. It's like it's harder to have a bunch of artists be in an area when they can't afford to live there. And so a lot of artists aren't living in the Lower East Side or in the Village, and they're not in Brooklyn either, because Brooklyn is being gentrified. So it makes you wonder, like, where is art supposed to marinate, for lack of a better term, and grow into something that can become a movement? Because I was reading online that, like, because of the internet, different subcultures don't have time to develop and find an identity, because everything is so accessible on the internet. And that's sort of like the double-edged sword of being online, is that, like, things don't get time to grow into what they could possibly be. They're sort of absorbed into this one thing that the internet is, and they become trendy and they get passed on super quickly. And so I'm wondering, in the future, if we will be less chronically online and more community driven. And not to say that there's not community online, because I've definitely found that with you guys, but like, what happens if we burn through trends so quickly that we're not able to sort of develop anything real anymore. Like where do we go after that? But yeah, back to the back to the book. I think I'm only on like chapter 3, and right now it's kind of talking about how Picasso and Matisse are, you know, they hang out. Everyone hangs out at this bar, and not Francois Gillot. Gertrude Stein has posed for Picasso like 90 times, which is insane to have someone sit for you that many times. But yeah, so all of these artists are getting together, and you know, they're developing these unique and interesting styles, like Cubism with George Braque and Picasso, Fauvism, Futurist, you know, and like all of these different things are popping up one after another. But it's because that these artists are able to sit down and swap ideas and then go off to their studios and work independently of their community. And then when they share their ideas, it becomes something that other people feed on artistically, and they push those things into newer boundaries, and they develop new styles. And I think that that is something that's kind of lacking today. We're missing sort of leading voices in the art world. Like, there are art stars, and don't get me wrong, that's super cool that artists are able to have the same fame as like a musician or an actor. I think that is super dope, and I think that's possible because of people like Andy Warhol and Jean-Michel. Kind of New York, honestly. New York kind of created the art star, which is dope. All roads lead to New York. But you know, it's like, what do we do when the quality of art suffers because people are more concerned with being stars and less about the craft? You know, in my book, I'm just gonna bounce around from books, y'all, I'm sorry. Because I'm reading like 3 books at once right now. No flex. But in The Birth of Impressionism, I think it's called, I'm gonna talk about it later next week. You know, it was Manet. No, not Manet, Monet. He started off as a caricature artist, and he didn't think that, you know, he didn't want to learn about, he wasn't interested in learning about painting from life outside in sort of a, for lack of a better term, in a more fresh way. He was more interested in studying in an atelier and fitting in with the style of the time. But then he met an older artist, and he sort of showed him the way. And I think when the 70s and 80s came, no, the 60s really, we lost, you know, people sort of lost an interest in learning how to draw. And I'm, you know, by no means am I saying I am an excellent draftsman, because there's so much I want to learn. But what I mean is, you know, people don't know how to draw like they used to. They don't. And so because of that, I think the craft of art greatly suffers, because it's more about how creative a person can be, which I think is super important. But I think, you know, craft is the craft of like drawing is something that is equally as important. Like, if you don't have the fundamentals, you can't reach your full potential, which is something I'm seeing in basketball today. Yo, I am all over the place. My bad, y'all. But you know, it's like, that's why European basketball players are better than American basketball players, because they're more fundamentally sound. And I think these days there's a lot of artists who don't invest in the fundamentals of art. So with that being said, take some time today to draw, or not. You know, it doesn't really matter, because the beautiful thing about the internet and today's age is you can make it whether you're technically savvy or not. All you need to do is have a passion for something and a drive to do it. So with that being said, I'm gonna get ready to go to work because sun's coming up. I'm gonna see y'all in a little bit. We're gonna go out tonight. I'm gonna charge up my handy cam, so the quality is gonna change a little bit, but we're gonna have fun. And yeah, I'll see y'all in a little bit. Hi. So this is super embarrassing. I actually didn't film myself going out. I got a little nervous. I felt kind of like I would have been invading people's privacy, and it wasn't my party. And truthfully, all of this sounds like an excuse as I allowed to come out of my mouth. But that's okay. I'm gonna work on getting better at filming in public. But you know, it's interesting. This is like a thing I do for myself, and so being in public is sort of, I feel like I'm involving people in my project or my process, and that, I don't want to say stresses me out, but it's a source of anxiety for me. But I guess I can just kind of recap my evening for you. So I came home from work. By the way, so just want to say, woke up at 4 a.m. to make my drawing, went to work from 9 to 6, come home, get my hair done, and I go to my friend's house in Williamsburg. I go to her house, and every time I go over there, I forget that her mom is this fantastic painter, and her studio, she kind of lives like me. Well, not like me, but her mom has a studio space in her apartment. But she also has great works of art in the home that, you know, she has Picasso's, Lucien Freud. She has, I always blank on the painter who paints, the English painter who paints the pools of water. One second, right? She has David Hockney's in the house. Basically, it's like a museum in this woman's apartment. And every time I go over there, I just look and I'm like, you got a Picasso in your house.
You got a Picasso in your house.
You need to lower your voice and shut up.
And I didn't want to film because I felt like I was intruding in their home. Not by being there, but if I would have filmed, it would have felt a little weird. So we leave, we get an Uber, we pick a friend up, and then we go to my friend's house in Chinatown. And I get there, and there's maybe like 150, 200 people in this man's loft. And a lot of these people are sort of internet famous. And once again, I felt like me recording would be kind of weird. And I'm also trying to be more present in my day-to-day life. And I felt like if I were to record the evening, it would have taken me out of the party. But with that being said, you know, actually you make it this far, put down, remember to be present in the comments. But with that being said, I just want to say thank you so much for watching the videos. Sorry about my little break over the weekend. I needed to recover, dude. I was cooked, bro. When I didn't get home until like 1:32 in the morning. So essentially I had 22 hours of just staying awake. And so my entire Saturday was me recovering. And then Sunday, I went to Brooklyn where I did a live figure drawing. So, you know, it's like, I'm still trying to balance my life with YouTube, and eventually YouTube and my life will sort of like blend really nicely, like a soup that's been sitting overnight. But yeah, thank you so much for watching today, yesterday, and tomorrow. I'll see you again. I'm gonna record in the morning, so I'm gonna see you super soon. But yeah, thank you so much. And by the way, please like, comment, subscribe. If you like that kind of stuff, I love that kind of stuff. But yeah, I'll talk to you soon. Peace.
Griselda. Hey yo.